Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today I have another Sims 4 speed build for you, and I'm not gonna lie, this one took me a while to do, not because of the size of the build or the complexity of the build, but just because I was a little bit confused about what I wanted to do. So I actually started this house a while ago, back before I got the reshade, so this should be the last build where we have some sort of reshade shenanigans going on. So the first part of this, the lighting may look a little bit different, but the screenshots were made with the reshade, so it'll all work out. But originally I had started by wanting to do a not so berry like house, so starting with the mint challenge. If you are unaware what that is a challenge in The Sims 4 where basically you go through 10 different generations, and each generation has particular requirements. Like, for instance, the mint generation, I believe they have to be like a scientist, but they're also kind of quirky and like doing practical jokes, that kind of thing. And there's certain things like they actually have to complete the element collection, and some of the generations have like you're supposed to have this many kids or only this many kids and a particular career, and there's also a color associated with each one. So I think I still want to do that as a series on this channel, but it just won't be starting with this house. So originally when I was starting with the exterior, I had that mint generation in mind, and I ended up using a lot of stuff from the Realm of Magic because that just worked out really well with the mint color, and everything just looked a little quirky. And then the problem was when I went inside and started working on like the kitchen, I just felt like I wasn't feeling it. Like, I didn't feel like this was meant for the mint generation, and so I had a lot of back and forth. Like, should I just try to make this fit for the mint generation, or should I actually make this a spellcaster home? Because I really like the idea of that. So finally, over this past weekend, I decided you need to make a decision, and I decided that it's going to be a spellcaster home. So I do tweak the outside a little bit when it comes to some of the fencing once I decide that I want to do the spellcaster home. So I did rely heavily on the Realm of Magic and tried to use a lot of items inside the house as well from Realm of Magic. So I'm hoping if you download it and you have Realm of Magic, you should have most of the items from this build, because I know I do use a ton of packs when I built. But that was just a long story explaining how I actually decided to come up with this home. So you can see a lot of the mint influences, but then when we get inside, there's just a lot of fun, quirky spellcaster stuff. And as you saw at the very beginning of this video, I actually took a little bit of footage of two of the Sims actually using magic, and I thought that was so adorable, and I love the way that turned out. So adding just a little bit of a different intro to the build, but I think it worked out. You know, just giving you an idea of what those Sims are going to look like. And this is a family home, so there are 2 bedrooms in this home. So I did 2 kids in one of the bedrooms and then the parents in the other. Of course, if you download this off the gallery, you can play with it however you want to, and it is already up on the Sims 4 gallery if you would like to download it. It is under my ID, spicensprinkles, all one word and all lowercase, if you want to check that out. And so something kind of awesome happened this week. I hit 100 subs. That is so insane and amazing. I never would have thought that would have happened, because this is just something really fun for me to do, but this was really exciting. So thank all of you that have subbed and have been hanging out with me and watching my videos and commenting. I appreciate it so, so much. And I want to actually do some kind of like 100 sub video, but I honestly don't know what that would be. So if you have any ideas for what I could do for a 100 sub video, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear what, ideas you have for that, because I do want to do something. I just am not sure what that is yet. Like if there's some sort of build challenge or just video in general, that you might want to see that I haven't done yet, but that might be fitting for 100 subs, just let me know. And on that note, if you've not subbed and you're enjoying this video, if you want to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more like it, I would really appreciate it. And you can see here, I actually ended up putting on a giant back porch on this home. And part of it just kind of ended up getting bigger because of those windows I used, because I didn't want it to cut off the windows and things like that. And I really did love the floor plan, the way it turned out. I ended up putting a little hallway from the entrance off to what I was going to think was the office for the scientist for the mint generation. But I actually ended up making it a really cool spellcaster room. So it's like got a cauldron in it and everything. And I love, love, love the way it turned out. And upstairs there is a full bathroom and then the 2 bedrooms. And then downstairs there is another bathroom as well. So hopefully your Sims have plenty of places to use the restroom and you don't have Sims fighting over it or anything like that. But I do just love all of the colors that were incorporated in here. One thing that did bug me, and I think honestly threw me off a little bit, was if you notice the outside of those windows and doors, they have a white frame around it, but on the inside, it's actually this dark wood color. And it honestly, like, I don't know, I was having a crisis when I was building this. Like, I wasn't sure what to do about that because I saw myself using like these bright white colors and then they threw in that dark wood tone on like all of these things and I don't know why. So you can see here me pulling out a bunch of those mint pieces that I was thinking about using, but then I think those cabinets like didn't feel right with those windows, and then of course those windows are so big that the kitchen looked weird over there, so I actually ended up moving the kitchen towards the entrance and then the dining space ends up being over there. And we do add a little more separation in this build into the living room because I felt like that helped, you know, I don't know, made it a little more cozy, if that makes sense, like for this build. And when I was doing the kitchen, this is really when I started having like that big crisis of like, what am I supposed to do? Like, it didn't feel right. And so I don't know if you've had that where you've been creating something, if it's building in The Sims or just other creations you might be making, but something just wasn't fitting together well. And it was, I think, the kitchen at that point. Like, I liked the way this kitchen looked, and I think I would use this for the mint generation for the Not So Berry, but it just didn't, I feel like, match this house. So I do end up basically taking that out and swapping it up a little bit just so that it makes a little more sense, because I really liked using the pieces that came with the Realm of Magic. I think they have some really unique appliances in it and I wanted to use that. And then I ended up actually using the archways that also I believe came with Realm of Magic, but I think it added a lot of interest and architectural, like, you know, nuance to this space by adding those archways in and just made it, like I said, a little cozier and just divvying up that room, because I feel like I do use a lot of open floor plans, but that's not realistic to every household ever. Like, there are plenty of homes that end up having, you know, closed off floor plans. So I did try to, you know, divvy that space up a little bit, and I do end up using that Realm of Magic stuff. And I used the floors here like all over the house because I really liked the way they looked. And I also ended up using, you saw outside earlier, I used that like darker blue brick outside. I actually ended up using that here in the kitchen to, you know, change the look of this space. And you know, not shockingly, the bottom cabinets that came with Realm of Magic did not have matching upper cabinets, so I just had to choose some cabinets that I felt like matched really well here. And you saw me, I don't know why I was having issues with that curtain. It just kept wanting to like pop somewhere else on that wall instead of, gee, I don't know, on the window where it belongs. But it was fine. It worked out. And I will say that since I did have to work on this lot several times, every time I came into the lot, the fridge was deleted. Don't know why. Don't know why that one object in particular the game was upset about. So if you download this off the gallery and your fridge is gone, you can just replace it because it just decided it didn't ever want to stay. So every time I came into the build, I kept having to like put a fridge back there. And I just thought that was kind of funny since everything else seemed to stick around. It was just that one piece. But I feel like that happens sometimes. I do end up putting like some books on top of it, like recipe books. So maybe it was mad about that, but I mean, I put items everywhere, so I don't know why that piece in particular was upset. And I did add like a bunch of kind of clutter here because it went with the vibe I felt, you know, with the outside of the house. And then I think I'm still going with the mint gen here. I have not decided to go spellcaster yet. This is me still trying to use the, you know, Not So Berry generation as inspiration here, but it just, I don't know, I think it looked a lot better swapping it to the spellcaster. And honestly, it was so funny when I was taking the screenshots, I realized like I really have not played with the spellcasters in this game. Like, I have used the items because I love the items in that pack, but I've not really used the gameplay aspect. So when I was trying to get them to like duel or do magic or use a broom or something, I was like, I have no idea how to do this. So that was kind of fun trying to figure that out. And I was trying to get a screenshot of them actually flying on their brooms, and that didn't work out. So I don't have a screenshot of that. Like I could get them to, if they were on another lot, use their broom to fly to another lot, but I couldn't get them to fly away from their home. So I didn't feel like it made much sense taking screenshots of them on a broom when it wasn't on this lot, because this was the lot that I was building. So we don't have any of those, but I do actually end up hanging some brooms by the door because I thought that was super cute. Like you keep your keys there and that kind of thing. Because I ended up like coming across them inside of like debug, and so I put 2 by the door because I figured, I don't know, it's kind of like car keys, right? Like you have to be a certain age to drive a car, and so I figured maybe you have to be a certain age to use a broom. So the 2 kids don't have one yet, but I feel like you could add them on the wall over there as they grow up. And I love the way this kind of eclectic wall looked. I feel like I've been doing this a little more lately because I just really like the way it ends up turning out. I mean, on the back wall behind me, if you've seen any of my like face cam videos, I have like a bunch of art on the wall just kind of put up there, and so I guess I've just been really into that lately. And I use those really cool funky armchairs from the high school pack that we just got, and I was really excited to be able to use those because I mean, I don't think I've used them yet, but I feel like you kind of have to like have a kind of quirky build in order to use those. So I thought this one would be perfect. And so here you can see I put the 2 brooms up there, and there are a bunch of different types of brooms in the game, but those 2, I love like the crystals that were on them. So I included those. And like when it comes to like the spellcaster, like I don't know what you'd call it, like spell room. I don't know, what do you call the room with like the cauldron and just all the spellcaster stuff? Like, is it an office, or is it, I don't know, like layer sounds like bad. I don't know. I don't know what you call it. Let me know in the comments if you know what to call that. But I ended up putting the cauldron in here along with like a wand on this table and just some like storage in here along with a computer, because I felt like that's really useful in Sims builds to actually include that. Even though I don't know if a spellcaster would use a computer very often, but in Sims gameplay it is very useful. And so then just adding in a few light fixtures. We had a lot of lights that came with this pack actually, so I definitely tried to utilize those here. And then I believe, I can't remember, do I leave all the furniture white or I change it back? I do know that I swap around the crystals a few times because I found more in debug, and like I swapped around colors, and then I decided that I wanted more of them. And then I ended up using this really like gorgeous brick in here because I felt like, I don't know, this being like a little workshop, I don't know, it just felt like appropriate, I guess, for that room. And so I do end up using that brick in other places in the house. And this is me just swapping out different crystal colors and all kinds of stuff. They're so pretty, and I feel like I don't get a lot of chances to use them. So I like use them a lot in this build. And then like I included a small bookcase over here on the wall because I figured they would have a lot of like resources and stuff for their potions and spells and things. And then just adding some more debug potions there on the table. And I believe that's like a spell book of some kind that I put there. I figured like that's where they do some of their studying or journaling of stuff that they've learned. And then here I just put in a half bath, so your Sims have plenty of space for that. And I used the toilet and sink that came with the pack. And there's also a shower that came with this pack, and I do believe I used that upstairs. And you know, looking back, I feel like this pack has a lot of items in it. Like it has kitchen appliances, it has a bunch of bathroom stuff, like it has a lot in it, and I always forget about that. So I try to utilize a lot of those pieces here. And so I really like this like little entrance way here that kind of leads into that, spellcaster office, that's what we're gonna call it. And that half bath. I like the idea of the half bath being kind of away from maybe the kitchen and the living space. And then here for this living space, I was able to use that awesome fireplace that came with this pack because I usually don't get to use it because it is pretty large, but the crystals, they're just so pretty. Like I was so happy to be able to use this. And this is a very large living room, so it has plenty of room for you to expand or add more furniture or change it up. I mean, you could even like corner off some more space for another bathroom or another room if you wanted to, but I kind of like the open airy feel. And you can see I just changed the railing on those stairs, and I end up, I believe, using a different railing outside as well once we go back outside to finish the decorations out there. But I figured they may have this really cool built-in like cabinetry for all of their stuff, and I just felt like it really helped, you know, utilize that whole large wall that was over there because it just seemed really empty, but I think this fills out the space really well. And I do end up adding some clutter over underneath the stairs. I feel like that also could be a space you could utilize for something else, or if you decide to move around the stairs, you're welcome to do so, of course, if you were to download this build. And then I believe that was the paranormal pack is where that little picture collage came from, and I love those so much. Like I said, I like that eclectic, like random assortment of things. I'm just partial to that. And then I just added, like I said, a little bit of decoration underneath the stairs there. And then I do put a TV in here, and I believe there's also a TV upstairs in the parents' bedroom as well. So you do have 2 TVs in here. And then I ended up basically using the same stuff in the bathroom because it made sense to me. I feel like you would use the same kind of fixtures in both places. So, you know, just kind of using those. And this was definitely interesting with the window. Like I ended up changing it out and scooting it over because I wanted to use that shower there. And then I just kind of pushed the 2 sinks together since I figured they would have a double sink up here. This definitely is an interesting bathroom given that there is a window in it and I was using a shower, and it was a very long bathroom. So it's, again, I think it's a little quirky, and I feel like it works really well with this house that I was creating. And then just pulling in some of that brick here. I know that it's different than what is on the stairs, but I couldn't use that wallpaper because it has like that wainscoting on the bottom, and so I just decided to use the brick. So I try not to do that, you know, but I don't know, it happened in this build and that's just fine. It'll be okay. And then just adding in a small sitting chair up here so your Sims can hang out, maybe read a book or something like that. You know, whatever it is your Spellcaster does, they can do that up in this like landing area for the stairs. And then for the parents' bedroom, I ended up using the large bed that came with this pack. I feel like I don't use it because of just how large the canopy is, but it's so pretty. And I was so excited to be able to use it. And so I didn't pull in a lot of that blue here, and I ended up creating like their own custom cabinetry there because I like the way those pieces kind of fit together. And so I kept this space a little more neutral, but I think it was a nice contrast to the rest of the house being so blue. And then I think I used those same wood tones in the kids' bedroom as well. I mean, we got this large, gorgeous bed, and we got like the smaller beds to go in the kids' rooms as well. So this pack really just has a ton of stuff in it. Like I said, I always forget about how much is in there, but you know, this is I think why I end up liking to do like more pack specific builds, not limited, but kind of heavily relying on particular packs because it reminds me of actually what's there. Especially like when I started out, I just got a bunch of packs and then I don't know where anything came from or what actually was in the game. And then I ended up pulling in this rug here that has kind of that floral pattern on it. Originally I had it with the white with the blue, but swapping it to this really pretty color that I feel like mimics the colors in the pillows on the bed. And then giving them their own dresser and just adding a bunch of stuff for the kids to do in here, and including, I even put in that large castle dollhouse. I did size it down, but your Sims should still be able to use it without any issues. It just fits a whole lot better because they are so big in this game. They are so big. And I believe you can actually see that dollhouse from outside of the build, which I think is really cute as well. And because I really did enjoy taking the screenshots for this family, given that they were spellcasters, and just looking at all the different interactions that they have, I think worked out really well when it came to the screenshots. And I also have a little clip of them like doing magic out back in the backyard as well. So that's a little bit different for this video, as I did end up putting that one at the end as well. And I thought about using this Realm of Magic portal that I found in Debug, but it was being really weird and it was just really large, so I opted not to, but just putting some gardening out back as well because I figured maybe they grow stuff for all of their potions, you know, things like that. And then just adding some swings underneath the tree that'll be up here in a few seconds, so the kids have some stuff to do outside as well. And I apologize for not having a video up on Wednesday, but I have had some personal stuff going on. I may make a video about it next week. We'll see how I'm feeling, but I'm hoping I'll be back to a kind of a regular schedule, like as usual, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I'm hoping next week sometime I have a birthday video. My birthday is actually this Saturday, so I'm hoping to have something related to my birthday up on the channel sometime next week, so long as I have time to edit it. And as always, if you enjoyed this, be sure to give this a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more like it. I would really appreciate it. And I hope you are having a really sweet day. Bye, everybody.